Hello everyone. This is continuation of Act 2 Scene 1. We stopped with all the conspirators leaving Brutus' house at 3 a.m. in the morning. He calls out to his page boy again and then realizes perhaps he is fast asleep. Brutus envies the young boy's sound sleep that knows no care or stress. At this point, Portia enters and Brutus is shocked to find her out at this unearthly hour. He begs her to return to her bed and not expose herself to the unhealthy elements in the air. Portia retorts that it is not suitable for him too to be out on this raw, cold morning. She accuses him of stealthily leaving their bed and further says that he had been behaving very strangely the previous night at supper. He had suddenly got up from the table and walked about with his arms across, deeply in thought. He seemed completely unaware that Portia was present and just stared unseeingly at her. He seemed to be unsure and impatient and stamped his foot and angrily gestured her to leave the room when she asked him what was wrong. She quickly left the room as she didn't want to provoke him further. She just hoped it was a passing phase which every man undergoes at some time or the other. Brutus has spent sleepless nights, not eaten enough, nor has he talked much. She feels if so much change had come on his physical shape, she may not recognize him at all. She now pleads with him to share with her his cause of grief. Brutus just says that he is not well. Portia does not accept that. She says Brutus is wise enough to take treatment if he were physically unwell. Brutus tries to get rid of her by saying he is taking medicines and asks her to go to bed. But Portia is not a fool. She says, all the more reason that Brutus should not expose himself to the dank morning. If Brutus were really unwell, he would not walk out in the open, which is full of contagious air. She refuses to accept his reason of physical illness. She says, there is some sick offense within your mind. She demands him to share it with her as she is his lawful wife. She falls upon her knees and says, upon my once commended beauty. And then she says all their vows of love and the greatest vow of marriage, she is entitled to his secret. She wants to know who are the masked men who came to meet her, who did hide their faces even from darkness. Brutus is embarrassed and says, kneel not, gentle Portia. Portia retorts, I should not need if you were gentle, Brutus. She goes to the extent of saying that if he doesn't honor their marriage vows and she is with him only to give him company, then it means she is just his mistress, not his wife. Brutus utters, you are my true and honorable wife, as dear to me as are the ruddy drops that visit my sad heart. Portia puts him in a corner, saying, if this were true, then she should know his secret. She admits that she is a woman, but a woman whom the great Brutus took to wife. And she is the daughter of the well-reputed Cato. She feels she is stronger than others of her sex, being so fathered and so husbanded. She says that she has proof of her strength. She could bear a self-inflicted wound on her thigh without any distress, so she could definitely bear his secret. This is irony again. One mistake that Portia makes is between physical pain and mental agony. Later we'll find that Portia is unable to bear the terrible secret in a composed manner. There is a knock on the gate. Brutus quickly promises her that he will share his secret and urges her to go to bed and asks Lucius to find out who is knocking. It scares Ligarius. He is actually very ill, but Brutus' message has livened him up and casting away his sickness as though it were a garment, he is ready to join hands with the noble Brutus. He addresses Brutus as the soul of Rome and brave son. He says, "Thou, like an exorcist, has conjured up my mortified spirit." Brutus tells him that he will know all the details as they walk along. Ligarius says, "With a heart new fired, I follow you. To do I know not what, but it sufficeth that Brutus leads me on." Such blind faith is admirable, and the credit goes to Brutus. The conspiracy is afoot. All those against Caesar have been gathered to join it. In a few hours' time, Caesar will be struck. The excitement and stress is apparently tangible. With this, Act 2, Scene 1 is complete.